At first, it sounds kind of cool. Imagine waking up, stepping outside, and instead of a blue sky, you see stars shining in the middle of the day. You'd be able to wave at Jupiter during breakfast and check on Saturn's rings while brushing your teeth. Sounds magical. But reality? Reality would be the shortest horror movie ever filmed. The first problem is obvious: air. Without an atmosphere, there's no oxygen to breathe. You step outside, take one heroic gasp, and collapse instantly like a poorly inflated balloon animal. The good news: no more allergies. The bad news: humanity dies before the Wi-Fi router even realizes the signal dropped. Then comes the silence. Without air, sound doesn't travel. No birdsong, no traffic noise, no annoying neighbors drilling holes on a Saturday morning for a few glorious seconds. Earth would be the quietest place in the universe, but then you'd realize silence also means no warning when something explodes, crashes, or smacks into you at supersonic speed. Imagine dropping your phone and never hearing it shatter, just silently watching your last meme vanish into the void. But let's pretend you survive somehow, maybe with a magical space helmet. The next big problem is temperature. Our atmosphere acts like a giant blanket, spreading heat around the planet. Without it, daytime on Earth would turn into an oven, baking you at hundreds of degrees under raw sunlight. At night, the heat would vanish instantly, freezing everything solid. You do get a planet that alternates between lava pizza oven and Arctic freezer every 12 hours. Cities would melt during the day and shatter like glass at night. Vacation packages would be complicated. Speaking of sunlight, without an atmosphere, there's no scattering of blue light. The sky would be black, the sun a blinding white disk, and shadows so sharp they look like someone sliced reality with scissors. Sunburn? Try sun death. Ultraviolet rays would cook your DNA in seconds. Dermatologists would stop existing because their patients would evaporate. And without air, there's also no protection from meteors. Normally, tiny space rocks burn up harmlessly in the atmosphere. Without it, every pebble from space becomes a bullet traveling at 50,000 kilometers per hour. Imagine sitting at a bus stop and suddenly, flock! A meteorite the size of a potato goes straight through your lunch, your bench, and 3 city blocks behind you. Earth would be pockmarked like the moon in a matter of weeks. Insurance companies would stop even pretending. Now, let's talk oceans. Our atmosphere keeps water in liquid form by maintaining pressure. Without it, the oceans would start boiling instantly. Not hot boiling, but vacuum boiling. The water turns to vapor and escapes into space. Imagine entire seas foaming like soda cans, then vanishing into nothing. Within days, Earth would transform into a giant cracked dessert, with only puddles left in the deepest craters. Goodbye surfing. Hello planetary-sized sandpaper. Food wouldn't survive either. Plants need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. No air equals no plants. No plants equals no food chain. Humanity would try hydroponics underground, but the moment power goes out, farms die, animals, forget it. Cows can't moo in a vacuum. Chickens can't cluck. Your last hamburger would be a very depressing memory. Transportation collapses too. Planes need air to generate lift, so aviation dies instantly. Birds fall like feathery bricks. Cars could keep rolling on the ground, but combustion engines also need oxygen. Electric cars might survive a little longer until meteors start smashing them. Trains could still work underground, assuming someone remembers to build them in airtight tunnels. Space travel ironically becomes easier. Rockets don't need to fight through an atmosphere. But good luck launching when the launch pad just froze, cracked, and collapsed overnight. And then there's weather, or rather, the total lack of it. No air means no wind, no clouds, no rain. Farmers can't grow crops, kids can't fly kites, And nobody complains about bad hair days. But also, there are no rainbows, no sunsets, no storms, no auroras. Earth becomes visually boring, just rocks, black sky, and the occasional death meteor. The entire planet would feel like living inside a dead video game with the skybox turned off. Governments, of course, would panic. Countries would try to build dome cities sealed with recycled air. Mega corporations would sell personal oxygen subscriptions. Premium plan includes 5 extra breaths per minute. The rich would move into underground bunkers with artificial skies, while the poor would be left outside, turning into popsicles at night and French fries during the day. International summits would argue over who gets to own the last working airlock. Wars would be fought not over land or oil, but over canisters of breathable gas. Civilization wouldn't last long. Within weeks, oceans vanish, forests collapse, and the planet becomes a desert wasteland. Within months, infrastructure crumbles from thermal shock and constant meteor strikes. Within years, Earth looks exactly like the moon, gray, lifeless, and covered in craters. Humanity's only chance would be living permanently underground, inventing giant ventilation systems, and pretending the surface doesn't exist. In other words, we'd basically be moles with Wi-Fi. So what's the final verdict? If Earth had no atmosphere, life would end almost instantly. No air, no water, no food, no mens. Our blue marble would transform into a silent, gray rock floating through space, another failed planet in the cosmic lottery. On the plus side, at least nobody would ever complain about the weather again.